Welcome to The Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew and let's get to the show.
Tweedledee, woohoo! Tweedledee. Damn it. I can't whistle, in case you couldn't tell. Welcome to The Daily Grind. I'm your non-whistling host, Luke Hatmaker. Never learned how. Really hard now. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's Thursday, and I've got Rusty with me. Rusty. I don't know why I'm Scottish. Rusty. How are you, brother? Are you good?
I'm good, man. Yeah, it's been a good week. I bought some shoes off a drug dealer earlier this week. I'm not sure what they're laced with, but I've been tripping all week. Welcome to The Daily Grind.
Oh, God.
I got it mid-coffee.
That coffee almost went everywhere just because the setup for that joke. I bought some shoes off a drug dealer. I'm in. You don't even have to give me any other joke. I'm like, this is gonna be a roller coaster. That's crazy. Oh my God, I'm glad Uncle Buck's here. Oh wait, he's not. Moving on.
He's a hater. He's just a
hater. Let's talk about some basketball, brother. We had some. Well, we had one really good game last night. I was almost said we had some. I want to talk about 43-piece chicken nugget. Shout out King Meeks. Let's talk about the first game, or the first game, the game that was actually enjoyable. Enjoyable if you're a Knicks fan, because the Knicks are now up 2-0 on the Boston Celtics, and they beat them last night 91-90. This is the second game in a row that the Celtics on their home floor have just absolutely. Before we came on air, you said your neighbor's dog or your roommate's dog pooped the floor. The Celtics have pooped the floor twice in the fourth quarter of these games. I mean,
at home,
like
blew massive leads.
Yeah, like 20-point leads.
This is why. Morning, Jalen. Thanks for being here, buddy. This is why they signed Mikal Bridges and kept OG Anunoby last offseason, was to defend Boston's wings. And the Knicks had no business being in this game whatsoever after they led by 20 points at the 4-minute mark of the third quarter. The Knicks went on an absolute tear. Defense clamped down. OG and Mikal Bridges were, I mean, like, you can't overemphasize their importance down the stretch. And Jalen's right. Like, right now, the Celtics do not have a game plan. All they're doing is chucking threes, and New York is taking full advantage of that. Boston went 10 for 40 last night from three. 10 for 40. And you shoot like that, you're going to get beat more often than not.
I think I heard before we came on, I think they've missed, not attempted, missed something like 70 plus these two games.
Jeez, man, that's wild.
Nuts.
Wild.
And it doesn't, and harping on like they not having an answer, you can just see it. These fourth quarters get here and you're just like, you're watching the game and you're like, oh man, they got nothing. They got nothing.
I mean, they're like Dory from Finding Nemo, but instead of just keep swimming, they just keep shooting. And when they're not going in, like you're 25% from three for the first two games Boston is. You're going to have to figure something else out, because chucking and praying isn't working. And now you're going back to Madison Square Garden, where it's going to be electric. Like, that place was made for playoff basketball. The average ticket price is $968. The cheapest ticket to get in is $728 right now. That place is going to be raucous for games 3 and 4.
Man, but Boston, like, they're going to have to. I mean, I don't know. I don't see them getting swept. That's wild to me. But they're going to
figure it out. Yeah, and Boston shoots the ball too well to go 25% from three across 4 games. Like, I bet if we look back through the season, it would be hard pressed to find a stretch where they went back-to-back games shooting this bad outside, maybe just like a couple here and there. I don't know that they're going to shoot the ball like that for 4 games, but I mean, the Knicks are for real right now, man. They are absolutely playing great late. You say you don't want to build a huge hole against a good basketball team, but they're doing that and coming back and beating Boston. I don't know that that's good for business if you're going to try to win a 4-game series that way. But right now, the Knicks are closing where Boston isn't.
Yeah, man. And you mentioned Bridges and OG, like they're just like, okay, Tatum and Brown. Nope. And they're just turning their water off. Like, it's been pretty just incredible to watch. I don't know. I just wasn't seeing this. And I don't think anybody saw this happening. This is this is going to happen. They're going to have a game where they hit everything in New York. But this team is just playing better. Like they're just playing better. Unlike the second game last night, which, oh my God, the Nuggets Nuggets got beat by the Thunder. I'm just projecting because it's what I want. The Thunder beat the Nuggets 149-106. And you want to talk about two polar opposites, I would argue, between the Nuggets and the Celtics, or excuse me, the Thunder and the Celtics. You had two teams coming off a loss on their home court who needed to play like their season mattered. Celtics did not. They collapsed. And the Thunder, oh my God. I mean, this game was what? They had, see if I can do some quick math. They had 45 points in the first, 42 points in the second, 37 points in the third. Yeah. That's pretty good.
87 points in the first half was a historic performance last night. It didn't look, I mean, Jalen's right. It didn't look like Denver wanted to be there. I think maybe they're waiting to get back to Denver. They took game one through bully ball, and Oklahoma City was out for blood last night. SGA hit 11 free throws last night. Free throw merchant in full effect. He made 11 field goals and 11 free throws last night. But give credit where credit's due. Like Oklahoma City, I mean, they're good. They are what we thought they were, right? They can blow the doors off the team. They can get hot. They can put the clamps on defensively. Held Nikola Jokic to 17, 8, and 6, which for most people, that'd be a good playoff stat line. But coming off a 42 and 22 game, that's very pedestrian, right?
Yep.
And that, I mean, yeah, they just cut off everybody's water last night. Like they weren't, after getting beat on their home court in game one, there was 0% chance they were losing that game last night. But now it gets interesting. Now we're going to see what Denver's made of, and can Oklahoma City continue this on the road?
I'm much more the fact that Denver was able to steal one in OKC, it just is much. This series is exciting now. It's a true series now, and they're going back to Denver at altitude. We know it's hard to play there. I'm just excited. I'm excited to see where this one goes.
Yeah, hopefully it goes in favor of the Nuggets. Maybe they can win both on their home court and come back up 3-1 to Oklahoma City, because that's what they're going to need. Because if you go back to Oklahoma City and it's 2-2 or you're in a hole, you ain't going to win that. They're going to close that on their home court. So you're going to have to hold serve in Denver. It's got to at least be 2-2. You can't, if you go back to Oklahoma City down 3-1, it's a wrap.
It is a wrap. It's just going to be really hard for – and you look at what this Thunder team was – everybody was contributing. I mean, granted, it was a blowout early, but, it's got a lot of horses.
They're deep, man. They're so good. They're goofy as all get out, corny. I can't stand them bums, but they can hoop, man. They're a solid team.
I think we are aligned. I don't like them, but they are good. There is a game tonight, just one. Golden State and Minnesota game 2 tonight. I guess they're just hoping to get every series up 2 games. 2 games played. I hope the Timberwolves are going to have to come out. Talk about 2 teams that have come out. We'll see if they come out flat like Boston or if they come out like OKC.
Right. Well, the one thing in their favor is Steph Curry was diagnosed with a grade 1 hamstring strain. He's going to be reevaluated in a week. So he's missing tonight and game 3 and game 4. So
that's huge.
If anything ever fell Minnesota's way, it's this. They don't have to contend with Steph Curry for the next 3 games. Now, Golden State's got some dogs. They're deep. They've got some guys that can play. Jimmy Butler's still lacing them up. You still got Draymond heading out there. But this is an advantage for Minnesota. There's no doubt. The way that he can score and the way that Steph Curry is just a historically great playoff basketball player, this obviously bodes super well for Minnesota. You hate seeing anybody get hurt. Thankfully, they called it a grade 1, which is just minor. Minor. Instead of tearing this way, it tore more like this way, like it gapped open instead of tore. Right. So it can it'll heal a little bit quicker. It'll be a little swollen and tender, but he should be able to go in a week. Especially with being in the playoffs. Again, if he's out for the full week, I'll be surprised, especially if they get blown out tonight and it's, looking dicey, they might rush that back a little bit. But hamstrings are finicky, man. Once you strain them once, it can happen again and again and again pretty quickly.
Well, they need him. They just don't have any, they've got Jimmy and that's it. They just don't have any, I just don't. It's going to be tough. What's he going to do? Play Kuminga? We know he doesn't like that.
He doesn't like Kuminga. They got some guys. That's the thing. They got some dudes who can play. Buddy Hield can score. He can go on a heater.
Buddy Hield's been playing really well.
Dudes, yeah. But obviously, you need Steph to make this any kind of series.
Competitive series. Jimmy will not be able to do it all by himself. Which, if he can, good God, then we've got to really start talking about playoff Jimmy if he's able to do it with.
We're going to find out against his former squad. We're going to find out.
Oh, yeah. God, I forget about that wrinkle. This is his former. Man. God, hopefully we just get another good game. That's all I asked for.
Yeah.
Moving on from playoff basketball, we're going to get into a little bookkeeping things, which I know is really fun. Not really bookkeeping, but I want to talk about as we look forward to the offseason, it's important to see how the Grizzlies are going to be able to actually better themselves, better the roster. They don't have as much flexibility as I think some other teams, but some flexibility that they have built into the cap, into the league has built in these flexibilities are the exceptions. So I just wanted to examine the various exceptions and how much they are going to be because, I guess the Grizzlies are not known for using these bad boys. I guess that should be.
We just had one expire from Steven Adams like a month or two ago. Like we just don't use the trade exceptions whatsoever.
I don't get it. This is like decent money too. I mean, like for the projected mid-level exception next year is projected to be $14.1 million. That's the non-taxpayer, which you got to be, it's the second apron, right? You got to be in the second apron, which we're good there. Yeah. There were 14 players signed using this bad boy last year, 25 the year before, 30 the year before that. Like 14.1 million is a decent amount of money. The tax pyramid level is 5.6. After that you get the biannual, which I don't know if we get the biannual this year, but it's 5.1.
Yeah, I don't think so. The
mid-level here is what I'm like, why is this? I don't understand why this isn't used more often.
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of tax implications that come with it.
Which I guess that's it.
And so, we're going to avoid being in the apron and paying taxes as much as we can. We technically have a couple guys on some mid-level exceptions in Jay Huff and Scottie Pippen Jr., kind of, sort of. But there's going to be a lot of candidates this offseason. I just don't know that we're going to have the pulling power in Memphis to pull some of these MLE candidates. I think we could, between that, we have 2 trade exceptions as well. You got Zaires that expires on July 19th. You got Marcus's that expires in September. We've got in the I was looking at this last night in the Zaire Williams trade exception. We have $6.1 million that we can use in a trade. And then in Marcus Smart, we've got 7.7. So up until July 19th, we have just over $13 million, which $13 million and a $14 million MLE could be a couple pretty good players, right? And so I just hope that our MLE, the first time we ever decide to actually go use it or use these trade exceptions, don't use them on Santi Aldama. Use the trade exceptions, trade for somebody. Don't use the MLE on Santi. Let's actually overhaul this team.
Which let's, for comparison's sake, I want to look at some of the guys that were making between 15 million and 14 million last year. There were Dorian Finney-Smith, Mitchell Robinson, Jordan Clarkson, and Onekia and Kongwu. Those are upgrades. Those are dudes, and there are dudes that have played themselves out of, Naz Reid was making that much money prior. There are dudes that are capital D dudes that you can find out there with this money. I just don't know. I'm like you. I just really hope we don't do what we've done in the past and use parts of it. We used a couple million here to sign Jay Huff, a couple million there to sign Scottie Pippen Jr. That's all good, but we don't need to upgrade guys 8, 9, 10. We're trying to upgrade guys 6, 7, and 8. Right.
A name that I'm just looking right now, a name that keeps popping up that might be an MLE contract candidate this all season be Klay Thompson. There's guys in that kind of they can shoot, that guys that can fill some roles in that $14-15 million window, which again, I don't love Klay Thompson, but somebody like that, that can shoot, that can be that 6th, 7th guy is something that we absolutely need. Klyman, it's absolutely the onus is on him this summer to do something, and he's going to have to be creative because as much as he craves and wants flexibility, he screwed us out of a lot of that by dumping Marcus Smart and picks this summer back at the trade deadline in February. So this summer, we're going to have to be extra creative if we're going to be flexible and upgrade this roster effectively.
Yeah, man, and I love the idea. For me, and we're going to talk about this here in just a second. When you're looking at what needs to be done this offseason, I love the idea of using this for a shooter because you can get a quality shooter for this amount of money. Like, we've been talking, we need to get multiple players in. We need to get multiple tertiary role players on this team to not double down on youth, to help bolster 1 through 8. And this is a really good tool to use that. You know, like here are some names, you know, like Eric Gordon, Seth Curry, Harrison Barnes. There are guys. And one thing, I want to get a veteran. I think that this is a great little bit of money to go use to get somebody who's been around the block before, who's got some pedigree. You can't keep saying for 3 years in a row, we're not trying to double down on youth. We unintentionally double down on youth. You can't. Yeah. After 3 years,
you're the one making us younger.
Yep. When you're the one making us younger, and after 3 years, and after you have means to not make us younger, I just use them.
It's put up or shut up time for sure. You're going to have to be creative. This is a great way to do that. Because this is how you can, if you're dead set on keeping the core 3 in place, this is a great way to do that.
Yes.
Right? Because you let Luke, you let Santi go. That creates some room on the roster, 2 spots. You use your trade exceptions, you use your MLE, whatever the case may be, and go add quality vet players that can fill some of those roles. And then you can keep your core 3 intact. So if you're dead set on that, that's how you do it. If you want a massive upgrade, I mean, it's no secret Desmond Bane is on the trading block, and we're seeing what's available for him. But if you want to keep them intact, you don't get the offers you think, you know, things don't work out like you think they're going to, use your MLE, use your trade exceptions, and sign some guys.
Yep, because you might have to if you want to keep those 3 together. Enough about that, because I'm sure people are enthralled by our talk of the exceptions in the CBA.
Tax and money and all the things.
Yeah.
I feel like we're at a CBA convention. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tune in next week for our CBA episode. Like an NPR episode. Last thing, we're going to have a little bit of a shorter episode today, but I wanted to end the show on a way too early off-season wish list, because it is way too early. I think that is worth noting. We've been out of the our season has only been over for what, a week and some change now.
Yeah, week and a few days. Yeah,
week and a few days. It is still quite fresh. These, I mean, I doubt these boys have even started thinking about the offseason yet, but that's what we are here.
They probably just booked their trips to Cancun. You know,
exactly. They just now. They probably took a week, got their affairs settled, and they're like, deuces.
I'm out.
That's what we're here for. We're here to think about the offseason way too early. And I just wanted to talk this out with you. Like, as 2 people who follow this team, we talk about this team every day. We're like, what do we want to see? Like, if I had just a post-it note and I wanted to jot a couple things down really quick, what's at the top of your list that you want to see this offseason?
Domantas Sabonis. And it's not close.
That was a softball. I wasn't ready for it. That was a softball.
Yeah. I mean, it's not close. Like, if we're pie in the sky visions of grandeur, I want to turn Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark, some picks into Domantas Sabonis and Keegan Murray, like I did on the show. That is an instant, pie in the sky, instant upgrade. You get shooting in Keegan Murray, who I believe in that guy. Yeah, he had a down year, but who doesn't have a great rookie year and sometimes have that slump, right? We saw it in Gigi. But you're instantly better with Domantas Sabonis snatching up all them rebounds, right? Like, he fights for every rebound like his life depends on it. And so for me, my top priority is Domantas Sabonis.
I not as specific as my top priority, but it's do something, a splash needs to be made. Whether that's for Sabonis, I think we would both love that. Yeah. A great deal. It just, Kleiman has put himself in a corner with years of really good general managing, really good roster building. But now, after a few years of talking himself in circles and building a roster kind of in circles, he's got to do something.
I mean, we gave Taylor Jenkins a hard time for the word salad that he chopped up on that podium. He got it from Zach Kleiman. I mean, Zach Kleiman's giving you the chopped, diced, smothered, covered, whatever else Waffle House does, right? Like, that's what Kleiman's doing up there. Yeah. But if not Domantas Sabonis, I think I've got 2 other things. The other thing, upgrade the wing situation. Obviously, Cam Johnson is still super high on my list, and maybe that asking price looks a little different this offseason. I love GG. I love his potential. I love his future, but I would also entertain GG for Cam Johnson, just because Cam Johnson has proven he's been to the finals. You talk about some veteran leadership. He's not like a Jimmy Butler, but he's been to the finals with Phoenix. He's played in high leverage situations, and it's an opportunity for him to get back to a winning basketball organization, but just upgrading the wing. You know, we had all these boneless wings, as Anthony Sane on our network likes to call them, for the longest time. And we got rid of Laravia and Zaire. And so we're getting rid of some of those boneless wings. Now go get somebody that can fill those shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think whether it's, I guess it needs to be on the wing. I just want to find someone I want to find what Luke Kennard should have been. Cam Johnson's a great, that's exactly that, what's the word? That archetype of someone who shoots the cover off of it. Yeah. And just like, isn't afraid to do so. That's and on the way.
Put in his contract, like, you've got to shoot a minimum of 6 threes a game. We ain't getting no more cardio. I gave on our $2 Sports Show episode on Tuesday. I gave him the Close All Your Rings award on his Apple Watch, because that's all Luke Kennard was trying to do was close his rings, right? Like for standing and moving and getting his heart rate up. It wasn't for shooting. So we need somebody who's going to come in and actually shoot the ball and not just get his steps in, wear out his Fitbit.
I mean, we know that they can put like Zion has weight things that he has to meet in his contract. Why can't we do that with shooting? Like, you try to tell me Malik Beasley doesn't have that in his contract right now? Hey, brother, you got to shoot at least 8. I
mean, you got to chuck, man.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm with you. I upgrade that wing, upgrade the shooting. Who do you have? What's your last name? I mean, because I think we're aligned. We just need to see. We just need to see something.
I need to see, the last thing I've got is I want to see a veteran assistant coach come in, that has proven NBA experience, that's been around the block. Like, we're all in, obviously, you know, Tomas is our guy. He's going to lead us into this next chapter. But all he's got, and it's been effective, but all he's got is European experience, right? He doesn't have any NBA chops. He doesn't have any NBA experience. So, like, I want somebody sitting next to him on the bench that knows what high leverage situations mean. You know, he doesn't have the NBA connections, and, you know, Jason Martian, Anthony Carter have been around the block. They've been around for a while, and they'd be great to keep. That's fine if the players listen to him, but I need somebody. Go get somebody with some NBA experience that'll sit next to him and help him in those high leverage moments where he needs to challenge or call a timeout or do something different, right? Like, tell him, hey, don't be goofy. I know Tomas was one of the big architects behind us playing our guys less minutes, because if you look at his Euro rotation, his Euro minutes, he played guys around 20, 21 minutes, like constantly moving people in and out. But somebody to say, hey, this is a high leverage game. Ja needs to play 38 minutes tonight. You know, like just with that voice of experience from the NBA next to him.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, because in my mind, it doesn't all need to be on the court. Some of it has to be some of it has to be over there on the bench. Listen, they've got to.
Players win games, but coaches can absolutely lose you games by being in situations where you don't call a timeout for an 8-second violation when the entire arena is screaming timeout at you and you're just standing there watching. Or Oklahoma City is getting away with murder, A, B, highway robbery, because we're not even touching them, but everything is a foul. Scottie Pippen had 3 fouls in that last game, game 4, that he never touched SGA, and we didn't challenge a single one of them. Yeah. Like, somebody to make that decision for T.I. if he can't be the one to make it. So we need some help on the bench next to T.I. for sure.
Yeah, and that is something that it's going to be very, very interesting keeping an eye on the way he builds out his staff, because there was such a big deal about the staff stuff last year. And now that he's got the team, he's got the reins, see who he brings in. God, I hope you're right. I hope he just listens, you know, like, hey, listen, you just need somebody. If they're not going to get a vet for the roster, get a vet on his staff, get someone in here who's been there before, who knows how to do it.
Yeah, again, like, I'm rooting for the guy's success. He has turned many clubs around. I think it was 3 clubs. He took from single-digit wins to playing for championships over in Europe, including there in Paris, the last one. And so, like, he's got basketball chops. Like, I'm not arguing that whatsoever. But this ain't Paris. Nope. This ain't Belfast, right? This is the NBA. This is going to be a lot different than Euroball. And so, again, guy might be amazing. I just want to see – I need some guys around him to help him unlock himself while we're unlocking the big 3.
Yep, completely agree. And I think that's all of our wish list. They're all unlocking the talent and the potential that we see.
It's building around the core 3 and supporting Tomas with assistant coaches that can help.
Yep. It's all And are we asking for that much? Maybe we are. I don't know. Maybe
I mean, Sabonis might be a little much, but like, go get you can get Cam Johnson without any of the core three. You can. Yeah. There's a package of Brandon Clark, like Jitty and John and Gigi that you could go get Cam Johnson and Dark Whitehead, like a couple other guys that could step in, like whatever contract fillers. But there's a package in there where you can go get Cam Johnson using picks and not have to move one of the core three. And you can't tell me that a Ja, Dez, Cam Johnson, Jaren, Edie starting five, like that's long, that's athletic, there's defense in there, like
pretty good.
Come on.
Pretty good. We might have a whole Cam Johnson episode coming up soon because we need to.
I'm excited again.
Yeah. That's going to do it for our show today, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be a little bit short today, but we will be back tomorrow. We'll talk about this, not Rockets, T-Wolves Warrior series. Mm-hmm. We'll talk more about Grizz, like we do. If we can leave you with anything today, it's a beautiful Thursday, at least right now. Hopefully it stays beautiful. I don't know. We'll see. If we can leave you with anything, remember to be a little weird, just a little bit, and remember to smile. Bye, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.